All right. Hello all. It's Anni here. Anni here, and I thought that I'm gonna just jump in and do a little support live for English for a while because I know that so many people, so many caffeine quitters are just dealing with those symptoms, dealing with anxiety, dealing with depression, thinking that when it's gonna end, and it can be very lonely ride. So that's why I just wanted to come here and tell you a few very reassuring words because you know who I am, you know my story, what I went through. I went through all that. Now I'm over 4 years. Actually, it comes like I have stopped counting, but like huhti, touko, kesä, heinä, elo. Next month it's been like 4 years and 5 months caffeine free for me, completely caffeine free. So like it was really wild roller coaster ride for me too, like for many of you. So I reassure you that you're gonna be much more than just okay. You're gonna be normal. You're gonna be normal again. You're gonna feel yourself again, and everything is going to be okay. But I will put the chat on if you have any questions in this point. So you are warmly welcome to join the chat. I love to interacting with you and just like ask whatever comes to your mind. I know many of you maybe are wondering there, what is this, what is that, what comes to symptoms. So please welcome the ask. Hi Richard, and hi Manny. Hi. Thank you Manny, you are always so sweet. Yeah, I have been doing well, very peaceful. I did have flu symptoms like a couple of days, like really heavy, that I was just lying in the bed and watching like TV because I was traveling, like, and then I have some kind of throat thing that I started to cough a lot of, and and I have been like not sleeping very well and like just like laying, but I don't have anxiety, and I'm so thankful. Thank God for that. Just being normally sick, even I can be just grateful for that, being normally sick, like without those heavy symptoms, anxiety symptoms. And of course it came to my mind also one other thing that I wanted to share, because then about a year ago, when I was about in my 3 years, when I did hit the tsunami wave. Actually it was 35 months, and it was also when I did have a flu. And then some people started to message me that, yeah, it's because the flu, and that's why you got this really heavy anxiety wave, and you have COVID. And I don't believe in viruses, so that doesn't do anything if somebody says to me that I have COVID or anything, because I just believe that our body, when we are sick, it's detoxing the poisons, or when we hit some stress or something, that's how our body is actually healing itself. So for me, it doesn't. I'm not scared of any of when I get sick. But what I was then of course terrified when I when I hit my tsunami wave, and people were messaging me, and yeah, that's because of that, and it's not nothing to do with caffeine anymore, and it's not caffeine withdrawal anxiety, or it's not paws. And then when I learned this journey, when I started to hear a lot of other people's stories, they also have had this tsunami wave, many of them around 2.5 years or around 3 years. And I was like, yeah, but they didn't get sick, and they still had this really huge wave. And I learned that that's completely normal for some when we heal, that's just some people, we heal like that we have like some periods of when anxiety just hits us harder. Some of us do heal in that way, that's how the system just works. So I just also want to say that this time, even I did get really heavy, like the flu symptoms, I didn't go anyway. No, I didn't. My nervous system seems to be just fine. So I do want to reassure you, whatever you deal in this journey, when you have the sensitized nervous system and when you deal with the paws, which are, like I always say, post-acute withdrawals, which is the state when your brain and body still keeps healing after addiction, and in this case after caffeine abuse. Many people do experience post-acute withdrawals. It's not something like, even it's not so very well known. I hope that in this point already many people starts to learn about those, because it is a real thing for really many. In the benzo world is very, very much more known, like protracted benzo withdrawals, which are also like called from bind. But it is the same thing for many people who are detoxing from caffeine, and like only here is time that you need. It sounds simple, but when you go through that journey, especially for those of us who it takes a little bit more time, because not everyone is gonna go through pause in same way. Like I always say, it individual what comes to the length of recovery, and some people doesn't experience pause. Also, what comes to benzo, not everyone will experience protracted benzo withdrawal, but those who do, usually it takes several months or some years. So yeah, that is how our brain really rewires itself. So let's see the comments. Hi today, and hi for everyone, and purple Afghani helps me sleep. Okay, I don't know what is that, but how long did you wave at 3 years last? Yeah, so yeah, it did last months. It was like, I think it was like the first month when it started was like really heavy, because of course I was in shock, because before that I was already feeling so much better. I was starting to go back in the gym and, you know, getting back to my life, and first I was in a shock, and then of course, thank God, I knew others. Like I started to make videos with Mandy, which helped me a lot because she had her wave, and I know others. And after that, I have get messages pretty much for some other people who have had that tsunami wave in the same time. But it took like months. I think it was a little bit messy, because I was still definitely healing, because I wasn't 100% before that. But it was really heavy all that summer. All that summer, it was like I just wasn't feeling myself because of anxiety, and I even did go check my heart in the doctor, like, because I thought that maybe there is something wrong with my heart. And you know, when the symptoms come back, I did have that heart palpitations and that lump in the throat feeling, and you know, all those. So of course I was confused, but then it did fade away. And if you do have, I don't want to, because I don't want to scare anyone. Maybe you don't have that big waves, or maybe, like, I know that some people doesn't have so much a wave and window. Some people just have hardship until the end. That's how some people do heal. That is the case with the benzos too. Not everyone have windows. For me, it was like more like the windows was there, those moments first, little moments, and then they started to be a little bit longer. But I always dealt with something. My brain was dealing something new. Always was the rewiring. So I didn't have, like, for example, like the months of feeling really good. But I also noticed that when I was in the window, I was like more functional. I was feeling a little bit more myself and more able to do things. So that's how I did experience the windows. And waves was where I just really was like really suffering. And it's individual. So that's why I just want to share this, that if you do have these flare-ups, when you suddenly start to feel more anxious, or suddenly feel that something is hitting you, or you feel that what I did wrong, or what I did eat, or why I'm this paranoid, and did I exercise too much, or you know the brain when you have these negative thoughts, negative thinking loop, it's gonna throw you some stuff. You can just calm yourself and say, this is completely normal. It's completely normal. It is brain rewiring. So yes, are you having trouble sleeping? No, not like, of course now when I was like sick, I didn't sleep really, but I'm still okay, even I haven't slept so much. It's cannabis, okay. All right. What is Yuppistar? Hello, Annie. Wouldn't believe that's true because for someone who don't know about caffeine withdrawal, it's unbelievable. Yeah, it is. It really is. I don't have windows, just slowly getting better. Yes, a constant wave that just lessens over time in intensity. Yes, yeah, and thank you for sharing that. By the way, yeah, it's very normal, and some of us like women, because we have this period cycle, we do experience in that sense usually that in our periods we are just like more having more anxious and just before periods, and then when we hit the ovulation we can have symptoms again because of those hormones. Those hormones are also like starting to go back in the balance, but that's why it can be really hard times for women in that sense, and a little bit different. And then when we go further in the journey, when we start to feel better, and then when our periods hit, we can still experience a little bit like blah and the healing still are going on, so that is normal. But what I don't recommend, of course, and you have to remember, these are my advices based what I have been seeing. I don't recommend you to use any mind altering drugs. Of course, you do what you do, but I just have been seeing so many cases that they end up using something in this journey, and then they can prolong the symptoms, or I don't know, but I cannot. That's why I cannot recommend that. And of course, I don't recommend supplements either. I just think that we don't really need them. People use them if they want, but I just haven't missed any supplements. Or even now when I was sick, I just used like honey and garlic and ginger, like the natural stuff that I have in my kitchen, like lemon. I did drink a lot of like hot lemon water, put a little bit salt in there because I did have some headaches, and because I was coughing so much that did hurt my head. But other than that, I just been doing really well. And of course, because I did find Jesus in my life, and that's been a really wonderful thing to me, of course. And but I do really recommend you just to like the most natural way that you can, just like drink water, eat food, try to eat healthy food. If you cannot always stay in the healthy diet, don't judge yourself. Please don't judge yourself from anything. You are doing the best you can with that. What else? Yes, and also what comes to sorry, my voice is a little bit down still. And what comes to like dealing with stress, so many of us in this journey, we just don't tolerate the stress in the same way. And I think the easier that you can accept that you just have to take it easy. Don't try to push yourself so hard. I did do that so much in my journey because I was just so I just wanted to be normal so bad. I had so much hard time to accept that it can really take time before the brain does the rewiring, and that doesn't seem to like matter like what is our background, what is our religion, what is our age, what is our health condition. I have been seeing in so many different kind of people going through these post-acute withdrawals, what are like different ages. Some of them are young, some of them are 20s, some of them are older than me, older than 50. Some of them are very athletic, some of them comes very athletic backgrounds, some of them are like not having any other addictions ever. Like for me also, caffeine was my drug of choice, and still the journey is pretty much the same what comes to paws. So that's what I have been learning in this journey. Then the cure really is the time, and stay away from the mind-altering drugs, all mind-altering drugs. And of course, I think that first, because I didn't say that so much, I also thought that it's just so clear. I thought that maybe it's have to be so clear for people if they're experiencing something like this heavy anxiety, that it's have to be clear that they don't go in mind-altering drugs. Like, but then I have noticed that maybe it's not so clear, because it's not so easy go through this journey. So that's why I just wanna to share this to you, to help you to get well. And if you are dealing with multiple addictions, I know that some benzo people also follows my channel, so I wish you a lot of like strength, and my heart goes out with you. I know that for benzo people it can be even more harder in some ways, that some people they are even bedridden in months or really long time. So just know that it's not your fault. It's not your fault at all. Those are horrible drugs. Nobody shouldn't have to go through this, and it's so horrible that doctors are just like describing those, and many people they are doing those benzos because of the doctor described them, and then they maybe the doctors cold turkey them, or they taper too rapidly, and they end up having really bad like protracted benzo withdrawal. So my heart goes out with you, and like I do believe that you all will recover. And based what I have been also researching so much in these years about the recovery and brain recovery and benzo recovery and all the recovery, because I wanted to learn everything, just because I went through this by myself, and I wanted to have the information. People seems to heal, even people who have been in really bad situation, they do heal with time. So there is a lot of good things to come, but just going through that, I know sometimes it's just like it's just hard to go through the days, and when nobody is there with you. And I do remember that very well. Even now in this point, I'm starting to like slowly forget. I'm starting to forget. And I remember some people, they say to me, or I did hear, who have gone through this, and they say that you start to forget. And I was like, how anyone can forget this? Like, how it's possible forget this? Like, I'm gonna be traumatized by this. I really thought that I'm gonna have PTSD because of what I went through, but no. It just when our brain does heal, it just slowly goes back how it should be. And I'm really happy that I am here where I am, and I'm happy to be caffeine free, because like, you know, so many people without knowing, they have this thing called caffeineism, and they suffer very much, but they don't know the reason, and they don't know the root cause of that. And caffeine is a drug. It is a mind-altering heavy drug. And of course that's something that is really hard to some people to understand, but that's how it is. Oh, what else? A constant wave. Yeah, that's I did read. Sorry, sometimes the chat comes a little late. Can you feel happiness again, like beaver, all the caffeine thing? I mean, like in the childhood. Yes, so much. so much is it like in the childhood, like every little thing, like just like going there in the nature, and like the things that I didn't really pay attention before in my life are now just happy, and I feel just like simple, and everything is more simple. It's not complicated, because when you have anxiety, everything is complicated. It's our mind, it's those negative thoughts that makes life complicated. Those racing thoughts and intrusive thoughts. I think that's really much why many people also suffer because of the drugs, and of course because of the caffeine, because it makes life hard, because it causes you stress and anxiety. And when you don't have that, it doesn't mean that your life gonna always be easy, but how would I put that? But things that now happen in my life that would maybe have before would be stressed me out or put me out of the balance. I'm just like accepting them with the peace and being more humble, and being happy to share whatever I experience. Like before, I was always like, I have a lot of that doubting. Anxiety makes us doubt a lot of things. It makes us doubt, and also it makes us worry about the future. A depression also makes us feel just like, just everything is just lame. In this journey, it can be that you have also a lot of depression. You have anxiety, you have depression, they can go on and off, you have the blahness. It can feel almost like you just live without purpose, live without wanting to do those stuff that you normally would do in daily life, like work and live with your family, and just being with my loved ones now, like being with my relatives that I haven't been able to be so much in this journey. I can say it was so emotional. I was just crying so much, just crying for the connection, and they didn't really even get it. They are like, what is wrong with you? Why you are just so emotional? And they don't get it because they didn't go through caffeine withdrawal. And almost everyone that I know, they still use caffeine. Even in my, like, family, my boyfriend doesn't, but many people do use caffeine, so they don't understand that. And if they didn't have this, and I don't blame them. I don't say that, yeah, you have to quit caffeine, because I know that they don't quit if they don't have motivation. So I don't start to preach them. Nowadays, I just I was more about preaching this a lot when I was started to go through this, because of course I was so shocked and terrified. So I was just kind of like almost like attacking people, like, oh, what are you doing? Like, but now I'm just able to like watch them to have their caffeine, and I know that they know, and if they want to quit, I'm there for them. But if they don't want to quit, they can use this. It doesn't bother me anymore. But it did bother me a lot, like going through this, because I couldn't stand any kind of stress. Even seeing people drinking coffee was like too much for me when I was going through the withdrawals. I just couldn't handle that. So yeah, it's that's how it goes. Like you are responsible, like your responsibility is your own life, and it's our personal thing, and I think that's all we can do. Like we can share, and then other people, they do what they do, but we cannot force anybody in our life, just like we cannot force anybody to believe anything. We can't force them to quit addictions. But maybe when you're changed, and your loved ones start to see that, hey, there's something different about this guy or this girl, what does he do, they can start to wonder, like maybe they want to try one day. And because it's not so easy. I don't know if I would ever end up this journey without this happened. It did that, like I said, for me it did happen. My body couldn't tolerate caffeine anymore just one day, so I'm grateful for that. And sorry my English, I'm struggling so much, but yeah, I think this is now, it's about 11 p.m. now in the evening, and so I'm pretty tired, but I'm still happy. So I wish you a good night all, and lot of blessings, and God bless you all, and I'm always, of course, happy to know how are you doing. If you wanna like comment below this video, tell you how many months. I'm trying to always like also motivate you to sometimes maybe update. It helps you to keep going if you are about to like relapse. I know many people will relapse, but I will say to you that try to keep going, because you are not going to feel like you are feeling now, and you are not even thinking those things and those negative thoughts that you have now. You just have to believe me. I know it's your mind is telling you otherwise, but this is something that it's not lifelong lasting diagnosis. It's not. It's just a period of our life that can be really, really, really hard period that we once go through, and then you recover. You don't go back to that. So yes, take care of yourself and drink a lot of water and eat good food and try to relax as much as you can. Watch something good, what makes you feel more like calm. Don't watch bad news. Don't watch any bad stuff, because you're gonna be fine. I promise you. It's all good. Nothing to worry. So, see you guys.